Does AEW have an attendance problem?
No.
Oh, there's his opinion. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Coming with Bob. Joined as always by my good friend Hollywood Frank.
HW, baby.
You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about all the big news in wrestling. You can also follow us on social media, on below, looking in the comments. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by, well, let's just call it, he's wrestling royalty.
Yes.
And in case you've forgotten who he is, it's this guy right here. I think we all remember the debut of Sting!
It's Sting!
I am, of course, referring to the one and only Mr. Justin Hollis, Jaybird. What's up, brother?
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
A moment, man. A moment. And I'll tell you what, you know, the fact that it's actually coming to an end here in about what is it, about 5 months, about 5-6 months. Yeah, it's something else, isn't it?
It's surreal. It's surreal to think that it is coming to an end, you know, but we knew it.
Yeah, and Father Time's undefeated, man. So
at least he's going out on his terms.
Yeah, definitely. But before we get any further here, guys, let's go ahead and check in with the chat. Got the first person in was Big Daddy, the Guardian of Chaos. Guys, go check out Big Daddy on YouTube. Go learn it and go kneel and learn at the feet of the learning tree. Looking forward to the show tonight, guys. Yep, appreciate it, Big Daddy. Maldacito said, "Sup? What's up, Maldacito?
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
Sup?
Appreciate you being here, and everybody else that'll be looking here. Mountain says, "Good news, almost home and only fell a little asleep on the freeway." Dude, seriously, man. You know, we're always, you know, it's great that you're listening and everything. Don't type while you're driving, brother. We don't want to lose you. But appreciate it. But yeah, dude, man, it's been a minute.
Jaybird, how are we so worthy?
But if you haven't Justin, I can't remember. I think I've got the link to your YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
If you don't, do me a favor, drop the link in the chat in the back there, man. But Justin's back doing videos. Just being a positive force in the IWC, which is something rare these days, man. I'll tell you what. I was talking to Frank earlier today, man. I made the mistake. Like, every once in a while, like I always avoid Twitter drama and all that crap, man. But every once in a while, I make the mistake and I engage, and then I remember why I don't. So, but
it can rear its ugly head. It's
yeah.
That's why, you know, a lot of times a fight will break out in my mentions. It used to. I'm not as active as I used to be. I'm trying to get more active again. You just break out, and I just tell the guys, "Hey, can you just untag me?"
Yeah, it gets a little
can you
tiresome.
Just get away from my tweets because I don't want to hear it, man.
Yeah, it gets a little tiresome, and it's funny enough is the situation I was talking about was about our main topic tonight about attendance and everything. Yep. Welcome, Jay Bird. Before we get into that, there's a little something we like to do. It's our little favorite segment. It's something we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. I believe it was you last time, right?
Yeah, I'm the odd man. So every odds.
Okay, so my good. Kazuchika Okada on Wednesday night What the hell, man? Yeah, man. Again, it's the wrestling, man. And this last Saturday, did you watch Collision, Justin?
I did not get a chance to watch Collision.
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna tell you something, man. Brian Danielson is just. He's decided that since this is his last year as a full-time in-ring performer, he's just going to put on a clinic every friggin' week. And when you put him in there with a guy like Andrade, who, and again, like I said, no, we've been watching Collision since it opened up, man, and that's been literally like every other banger match, man, is the Andrade show. And seeing how good that guy is, and realizing that that's the guy that WWE had. And they just relegated that guy to the background. Like, what the hell, man? But those two guys, like I said, Brian Danielson, he doesn't miss. He does not miss. And I'm loving that we're going to his last year as a full-time in-ring performer. We're getting matches like this. And not only that, but man, he's going out of his way to put people over. You know, he gave Ricky Stark his friggin' papers, man. But yeah, if you watch one match that from last week, man, go watch that match. That match was fantastic. It was maybe the ugly. We just talked about it, man. I mean, the bad, the IWC, man. I made one little innocent comment. And literally, I got caught in the middle of a freaking firestorm, and I'm just like, and that's what I try to tell these people. I was like, listen, I'm a wrestling fan. Like that post I put up that everybody was looking at. You know, I like I said, I started watching wrestling with my grandma. I was there when Hogan and Andre went at it when I was a kid. Flair Steamboat, man, all the way up through the Monday Night Wars. I watched both sides. I'm a wrestling fan, dude. I watch more wrestling in a week than most people watch in a year. So, yeah, and it's wearing on me. But yeah, man, it's amazing how tribal people can get. And my ugly, and actually, I probably should have flipped those because this is just a personal thing, man. Where Tony Khan's head is, man. I don't know what's going on with the dude. He's making some really weird choices. He's continuing to be just an absolute dick on Twitter. I get what he thinks he's doing. He thinks it's the Monday Night Wars again, man. He thinks he's DX and he's out there and he's the NWO and they're out here going at each other, but it's just coming off bad. Someone needs to sack up and go in there and talk to him. But the biggest decision he's made that's really got me just scratching my head is the commentary team on Collision. Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness were fantastic. They were so good. It was such a breath of fresh air, man. Kevin Kelly, in my opinion, is the best commentator in the business today. And again, this is nothing against Tony Schiavone. Why are you going to go out of your way to poach Kevin Kelly away from New Japan? Bring him over and then, obviously have some strike lightning in a bottle with him and Nigel McGuinness over on Collision. And then you're going to pull him off and you're going to make him a secondary commentary to Tony Schiavone, who just doesn't fit that dynamic over there. And it's nothing against Tony. I don't understand it. He took one of the best things about Collision and he's futzing around with it. So, yeah, and he needs to fix that, man. Like I said, unless he's going to move Kevin Kelly over to Dynamite and Kelly's going to take over as lead commentator over there. It's a move that doesn't make any sense to me tonight. I mean, obviously they had a special guest. I can't remember his name now, but he was one of the announcers from Smoky Mountain Wrestling, or from I can't remember his name now.
Is it Dave Brown?
It might have been. It was the guy he called Jeff Jarrett's first match.
Yeah,
back when Jeff Jarrett's first started.
Dave Brown.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think you hit it on the nail there. You got to have separation between Collision and Dynamite. You got to have something that separates them, and the commentary team will definitely separate them.
Yeah, and tell you what, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk about you, but Nigel McGuinness, man, he found himself, dude. Like I said, him and Kevin Kelly, those guys were lightning in a bottle. But okay, so that's my GBU. Frank, what do you got, brother?
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Justin, Justin, you want to add your GBU, man?
Let me think. I got a couple. Nothing crazy. Probably hit on a couple things you hit on. I think Dynamite itself was good. I watched Dynamite last week. I've been in and out watching, and actually the last couple months, I've probably caught Collision more than I caught Dynamite, and I thought Collision has been better than Dynamite lately. But I caught Dynamite last week. I thought overall everything went smooth on Dynamite. I think it went well. I tweeted a couple times that the whole Tony Storm thing I'm absolutely loving her character there. So I think Dynamite's going well. The bad, one thing I picked apart, I did like a little 10-minute review of Dynamite. And one thing I picked apart on that was I didn't like the Diamond Royale, how they did it. They only had 2 entrances, Juice Robinson and Max Caster.
Yeah.
So you knew who was going to be in the finals based on that. And so I just think there wasn't any spontaneity to it, I guess. So you just kind of knew at the end it was going to be Max Caster versus Juice Robinson to see who was going to win, even though that's who they propped up the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, kind of foreshadowed it, whereas I like a little bit of surprise to it. The Royale itself was good, but you just knew who was going to be in the end. So
yeah, I agree with you on that one.
And then the bad, it's always the IWC. Or the ugly, it's always the IWC. It's always. I mean, you can't unsee that.
Yeah, no problem, Johnny, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, and it's the thing is, like, a lot of times, you'll see something positive in the IWC, but man, it gets ratioed to death with just the free tribalistic bullshit. It just goes crazy.
I've had people send me, because I haven't been that active lately, and I've had people DM me saying, "Hey, we missed the positivity. Can you come back?"
Yeah, I'm telling you what, man, we could use a little bit of it.
So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll start watching. I'll start tweeting out some, and let's see if we can't get some more positivity back in the IWC.
Yeah. All right, Frank, what you got, brother?
Hey, man, it's been a good week so far for me. Sunday, Kiss. The end of the world tour, their final tour at Rocket Mortgage Field House here in Cleveland. Man, hell of a show. It was awesome. If you didn't follow me on Facebook, we got a lot of pictures I posted up there. But man, I lost my voice Sunday night. But as far as wrestling, and then this man.
Oh, hang on. Let me.
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Yeah,
would have been his 100th birthday. World War II veteran, the man who helped make me who I am today. Going out to dinner of remembrance with his daughters, my sister, and my mom for his birthday tomorrow. So that's why I got this for him. But had to do that special shout out for him. Again, World War II veteran. He saved a lot of people overseas and a lot of people here in the States. Because he was in AA for 40 years and saved a lot of people with that. But my good as far as wrestling, Rob, you went on the Bryan Danielson train from Collision. I'll go from Dynamite. Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega.
That's a good match, dude.
That was a hell of a match. I honestly thought, even though Collision is more of the wrestling show, I think Dynamite was better this week.
Yeah.
Then Collision, top to bottom, you got Penta at the beginning versus Jay White.
That was a good match too.
Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega. I mean,
I'm super high on Kyle Fletcher, man. That's a dude who could become like another pillar. You know, he's young, he's really talented. They did, and even though he lost to Omega, he put him over big in that match.
Yeah.
So Will Ospreay friggin' hand picked that dude to be part of his faction a couple of years ago.
And hopefully with those guys being part of AEW, that helps sway the free agents of 2024. There's two
big ones.
MJF, Will Ospreay. Let's keep them in AEW.
Yeah, dude, man. Whoever gets Will Ospreay is they're gonna turn him into he's gonna be a superstar. He's absolutely gonna be a superstar. Like if he goes to AEW, he'll be able to work the way he wants to. The way he's like if you saw how happy he was when he came out at All In at Wembley, dude, that guy was in his freaking element, and like he was just having a blast. But at the same time, man, he's got that it factor. He's got that ability. He could be the next Shawn Michaels in WWE, you know. And with Hunter being in charge of creative now, if it was Vince, I'd say no. But with Hunter being in charge creatively now, it's a different ballgame.
Yep.
So he's huge, man.
And we want to see Ospreay versus Kenny Omega Part 3.
It's going to happen, dude. I think they're going to eventually set it up at Wrestle Kingdom. Be night 1 or night 2. But yeah, man.
Yeah. The bad is too many squashes and nothing against House of Black, but a lot of run-ins on Collision. Maybe too many.
Yeah. I think maybe one too many, but I do like the fact that they are really setting House of Black up as being a major deal.
Yeah, but the squash matches with Wardlow on Wednesday and can't remember who else. There's a couple on Saturday.
Yeah.
Lance Archer and
Yeah. Well, the thing with Lance Archer is I think they're trying to rehab his image. Same thing with Wardlow. I don't mind the squashes as long as they're quick, they're fast, and they're leading to something. For instance, like that friggin' like you got that kind of squash match. Then you got the squash match where you had like Hobbs versus friggin' Jericho, where he freaking murdered Jericho.
Yeah.
And that really set him up like that's a friggin' monster, dude. That did him wonders.
Now where the MJF Wardlow thing goes, because he called his name out at the end of the match, we'll see. And my ugly is I'm tired of these Battle of the Belt shows. Like, what's the purpose of them? I've never seen a title change hands on Battle of Belts. It's just okay. The belts are out there. Okay, nobody's gonna lose your title. It's losing any luster it has. Was Battle of Belt 12 or something or 8 or what? I can't remember what number it is.
Yeah, it's getting there.
They have so many, but it doesn't matter. Make it exciting.
Yeah.
Have a belt change. You can always change it back. Like you knew Phoenix wasn't beating Moxley except for an injury.
Oh, yeah.
Then they took it off of him and put it on Pockets again. So you knew he wasn't holding that title for an extended period of time. Give the fans some excitement by seeing a title change on Battle of Belts, even if it's just for a short time.
Yeah, agree. Unfortunately, the whole agreement with TNT or Discovery, whoever it is, I mean, they got to have those special events. How many a year? It's like 6 or 8 special events a year.
Yeah, and I believe, and from what I understand, Tony's about to announce a new pay-per-view. So they're gonna like it's what they want. They're going to a once a month pay-per-view. So some of those like I wouldn't mind if they turned Battle of the Belts into a pay-per-view. And then now you've got something like Frank said, where you can change titles over on that. It's not a television thing. It's a live event. It's a pay-per-view. So now it can become like basically that. It could become like if they want to do cross promotion, they could do like champions versus champion, something like that. I can see them turning Battle of the Belts into something. But right now it's literally just like it's just another episode of Dynamite, man.
Yep.
Agree.
Yep.
Agree.
Cool deal. All right. So speaking of bad things, I don't want to stay on this topic too long, man, because like I said, I was in it. I was in it with this friggin' woman, man. She's died in the wool. She wants AEW to die. It was something else, man.
Those people are so stupid.
I'm gonna tell you, bro.
Sorry.
I don't get it. But okay. Attendance numbers. So, according to several reports, let me zoom this in a little bit. According to multiple reports, we had pictures like this that were released. Attendance at AEW live events has been a little bit threadbare at certain points. Now when I was talking to like Frank and I have been to a lot of Dynamite events. We've been to AEW what, 6 times? AEW shows at least 6 times.
2, 3, 4.
We've been to 4 Dynamites.
4 Dynamites at Collision and Forbidden Door.
So that's six AEW events
Since they started 4 years ago.
Yeah, since they started 4 years ago. Even at Forbidden Door, there was a small section around hard cam side that they have it's emptied out, and that's emptied out for a reason. It's to keep people's voices from coming over, because I do think they have like a live mic out there just in case or whatnot. It's to keep people from walking in front of the camera, stuff like that. There's always a section around the hard cam that is empty. All right. And at live events and at like show tapings, they'll even have that whole section, like just like it is right here. They'll have that whole thing emptied out. There might be like you see here, like they'll have a few of their personnel or whatnot that might be over there. But it's usually that section is usually empty. It's there's nobody there. Now the 2 to the sides, and then I've seen this whole picture, and those sides over there were largely empty. That's a little bit telling. And this goes all the way back to the CM Punk situation, and also with Cody leaving and whatnot like that. All those things kind of stacked up. And when the CM Punk situation came to a head, we talked about it, and we said AEW is going to take a hit. They're going to take a hit for a while from this. It's going to take some time for them to heal. At the same time, however, and she didn't like it when I did this. Let me pull that other picture up here. I'm sorry. This is a SmackDown show from about 6 months ago. What do you see behind there? You see
a lot of black, a lot of empty seats.
You see right here, okay, in the middle, there's a small section. You see those people? That's the hard cam side. That section is empty. Okay. And then you see a lot of tarped off area on the side, and then on the top on that one side over there. This happens this is something that's been going on, from what I understand, talking to different people. This is something that's been going on for about a year now. Attendance is down across the board. Now, some shows, they'll still sell out. They'll sell out the whole friggin' building. Okay. I'm talking specifically about WWE. This last week, I believe they sold out Raw. Okay. This last Raw that just happened. But there's also shows in between where there's either there's a lack of interest in the area. It's the economy, which that has a big effect. And it's also who's going to be on the show and what happens. And to give an idea of that, and this is a house show that they just did. So it's been a hit in general to live events across the board. Okay, especially in professional wrestling, but also in other things too. And it's because people, it's the time of the year, it's the holidays, people are saving money. It's the economy, people are tightening their belts. It's the interest. Like, this happens all the time. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Now, I'm not saying the situation with AEW is completely because of that. I do think that the situation with Punk pissed a lot of people off, turned it off to the product. Tony doing his crazy tweet and stuff turned some people off on the product. I think if you notice the way the show has run since Cody's left, Tony has shown some cracks and chinks in the armor. He's made some mistakes, etc., etc. All of these things kind of snowball in effect, and AEW across the board have taken a hit in their attendance. However, it's not as freaking dire as everybody's making it out to be, and for that, you just look at their friggin' pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views are always stacked. Okay, All In was a little all out after, which came so close after All In. That took a little bit of a hit. Part of that was because of the CM Punk thing. A lot of people decided they weren't going to go. They refunded their tickets, etc., etc. But from what I understand, and like I said, they took a hit across the board with their attendance, but slowly but surely the attendance has slowly started to climb back. We knew this was going to happen. So that's my opinion on the situation. Frank, I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and you tell me what you think.
Justin?
I kind of talked on this last week, I think. I do like an opening dialogue where before I do my little podcast review of Dynamite, I'll post an opening dialogue. I kind of talked about it. You hit the nail on the head, Bob. There's been some issues. I think Tony has caused some of that. The CM Punk thing, I think, was a bigger issue for them than they thought when they released him it was going to be. It's caused a huge setback. And we got to understand, and this is what I said, is that they don't just rent these facilities out a week in advance. They lease these facilities out months, sometimes a year in advance. And so they got some of these arenas that they've rented out over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And so now they're like, well, you can lower it down, but what do the optics look like if AEW comes out and says, hey, we're going to a smaller arena? How bad does that look then?
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, they just go with it. They have a little bit of an attendance problem. I think what you're going to see in the future is you're going to see them go to smaller arenas. Smaller arenas is going to make the crowd look that much hotter, which we know on TV, the crowd sounds hot on TV. And so switching to a small arena, I think, is going to help them. I also think they got to stop going to some of the same places.
Yeah.
I think there's oversaturation there of the markets.
And that was one of the things that happened when we went to Collision. Collision was at where was it at, Frank? It was where the
same place, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Yeah,
it was at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which is a different venue from where Dynamite's usually held.
Yeah, it's a bigger venue than the Wolstein Center, which is on the Cleveland State campus.
Yeah. And we saw it when they were in Jacksonville. That's where I live. So when they were in Jacksonville all the time, I went to. I can't even count how many times on my hands, how many times I went to Dynamite. And you would see crowds there that were pretty small, but you got to understand it was the oversaturation of the market. If they were $20 a ticket would get you a good seat, and they were moving people from the top down to the bottom just to make it look bigger in Jacksonville at the time. So I got moved several times to really good seats because I would buy the cheap seats and they would move me to a different section almost every week.
Yeah. Now I will say this though, I disagree with you on them going to smaller venues. I think that there have been signs that attendance is slowly starting to recover. Like I said, it's going to take a while, but even like I said, when we went to Collision, the attendance that night, I think it was about 3,200 people out of a 5,000 plus seat.
It's not
venue.
Bad.
Which isn't bad. Like 3,200 seats isn't bad. And this was after, like I said, after all this stuff that's happened. Like I said, attendance has been down across the board. I do know that one of the dynamites that they just had, they pretty much sold out. Okay, so it's like I think you hit on another major thing. I think it's the venue. If you keep going back to the same venue, I think people get tired. And like I said, attendance is down across the board for almost everybody. I mean, Impact's been talking about it. Impact just had a really big show, but even they talked about a lot, like, we've been having issues and whatnot. New Japan has been having the same thing. It's everywhere. When the economy, and I really think the economy has a bigger effect on it as well. Plus the time of the year, everybody's saving up money for Christmas. Like, we're heading into the holidays. People have less free money. The economy's a little tough. There's, things going on in the world that are making everything kind of sketchy. People make different decisions when things are like that. So, and this has happened all the time. It's highs and it's lows. I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think too, like you guys are saying, like even Hicksville said, you're having the shows over and over and over again in Chicago. Move on from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, move on from having Las Vegas, the battle or the casino battle royal or whatever. Move to other venues. Advertise before, like we've said it before. Hey, Cameron, that's my boss at work. AEW, not WWE bigger. They've been around over 40 years.
Yeah.
AEW's 4. So a tenth of the years that WWE's been around. WWE can get away with not advertising every match at a pay-per-view. AEW can't. You're not setting these matches up with enough leeway to build interest in the pay-per-view or whatever. I mean, plus the ticket prices. How high have the prices gone up for Arthur Ashe Stadium over the last 3 years?
Oh God, it's ridiculous. Something ridiculous.
It's crazy. You can't increase prices like that if you're not going to put on a pay-per-view type show in Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
Get out there, build up these storylines, get these guys going so that way you know who to expect. They did a great job building up storylines. Unfortunately, people got hurt for Forbidden Door, the first one in Chicago, but they really didn't do a whole lot for anything else. It's like,
yeah,
who's going up against who? You don't know till the Collision and Dynamite that week, and the pay-per-view's on Sunday. Like, you're telling me Wednesday what the match is going to be for Sunday? No,
yeah.
Tell me, set it up 2-3 weeks prior to that to build the interest and get those matches going. And like Rob and I were saying before, the Attitude Era with WWE, you had Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H. AEW needs to get their own of those three and build them up. We said MJF, Ricky Starks, and if you can sign them, Will Ospreay.
Yep. MJF could be your Ric Flair, Ricky Starks could be your Rock, and because I think, and like I said, they're gonna need that moment that ignites them, and like everybody, we all remember when Stone Cold became it. Austin 316 said, "I just kicked your ass." They need that moment that ignites them. That with The Rock, die Rocky die. That moment that he took, and they let them become who they were. Like, I'm not saying that those guys are going to be on the same level as those guys, but if something happens, if you hit lightning in a bottle, you never know. But they need those figures to build around. And like we said, and as far as companies having their ups and downs, people forget WWE almost went out of business twice.
Mm-hmm.
They almost got put out of business during the Monday Night Wars. And then when Vince decided he wanted to turn WWF into WWE and make them an entertainment brand and not just a wrestling brand, he started branching out in all these different directions and started blowing all this money that didn't make returns. He almost put the company into Chapter 13. So there have been businesses go up and down. AEW, and then, like I said, you're talking about comparing the sales, the ticket sales, and the show attendance for a company that's been around for over 40 years and has actually become one of the largest entertainment brands in the entire freaking world. It's so big now, it's almost impossible for them to fail. Versus a company that's only been in existence for a little less than 5 years.
Yeah, and
So
if WrestleMania, the first one, had failed, they wouldn't be around today.
yeah, and if WrestleMania had not, and like Vince bent the farm on WrestleMania, and if that had not clicked, if that had not become what it was, and then the next two WrestleManias just became these big media events that brought in, people from the music industry, people from the film industry. If that had not worked, the WWE wouldn't exist. So, that's so like when we talk about this, that's kind of where my head's at with this situation. Yes, AEW is down. We knew they were going to be down. All the drama, a lot of the infighting, things that were happening in the back, that was going to have an effect. The industry as a whole is down overall. Like the person I was talking to, she quoted the fact that they had to open up more tickets for Survivor Series, and I was like, okay.
It's one of the big four.
That's one of the big four. Yeah, those things always sell out. The Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. Those four shows, those are always going to be big. They're always going to post big attendance numbers.
And Justin, that's Rob's favorite number.
Woo!
His Cody Rhodes 4 Horsemen.
It'll happen someday, damn it.
It's crazy because you get some people. I can't imagine. I'm gonna go on a little rant here, okay? I can't imagine spending $40, $50, $60, whatever it is, on a ticket to go to a wrestling show, to go there, to pull out my phone, turn it on, and record the lack of attendance. Like that was your sole purpose of going to a wrestling show, was to look at the attendance, to put it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, so that you can have a post go viral, so that one of these stupid accounts can pick it up. Like that absolutely just blows my mind that people will do that. They're going to spend $70 on a ticket to pull out their phone and record the crowd, or take a picture and go, hey guys, look, the attendance sucks. In reality, it was probably 15 minutes before the show. Yeah, the attendance isn't great. Yes, AEW's down some. They're going to rebound. They are. Look at this company. In 5 years or 4.5 years, what they have been able to do in that amount of time is absolutely incredible to think about what AEW's been able to do. And so, yeah, are they down? Yeah. Will they rebound? Absolutely. But again, to have somebody just go there with the sole intention of going, hey, I'm going to have a post that's going to go viral because I know the attendance is going to be bad here. Get a life, dude. Go touch grass outside. Go do something. Go get a girlfriend. Okay? Get a girlfriend. Just get a girlfriend. I don't care. Go to a bar. Get drunk. Find somebody. Don't go to the wrestling show and do that.
Yeah. It's like
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Seriously, man. Like I said, every freaking show we've gone to, that section is always empty. We've gone to shows where even like maybe half the arena was either taped off, or you've got the show, the venue's 2/3 sold out. Every show's been friggin' awesome. It's been fun as hell.
Yeah.
I
went to Monday Night Raw probably 3 months ago. My friend invited me. I went, and that little section was blocked off. The rest of the show, completely packed. But they had a little section that was blocked off and tarped off. I mean, it happens at every show. Now, like I said, that picture we just showed, I mean, that was pretty, that was pretty bad. It was hard for me to see as a Sting fan, him saying the R word. And then you see the hard camera side, and there was nobody there. Like that sucked. I'm not going to lie. It sucked to see.
The thing is, though, I think you were right, man. I think because I think that was Samoa Joe that was in the ring there. I think that was at the beginning of the show before it started.
Yeah.
I think that they've been like because the way that they do things, they film ROH, they film Ring of Honor during Collision. Because I think that I can't remember if that's a Collision show or if that was that picture was taken from a Collision show or a Dynamite show. I can't remember, but they do an hour of Ring of Honor first, And then they do Collision, and then they do another 2 hours of, and then they do like an hour. Actually, it's like half an hour of Ring of Honor, and then like an hour and a half of Ring of Honor at the end. And I think they do. I think they do a lot of pre-filming and stuff on Dynamite as well now. So that could have been the venue before it was over. But even if it is, okay, depending on how big that venue is, they could have still sold out 3,000, 4,000 seats, and there's like another 2,000 left over. That happens all the time, dude. I remember what was it, 4 or 5 years ago at WrestleMania. They were the venue that they had that at. The entire top balcony was freaking tarped off, all the way around the freaking stadium. Man, the freaking camera never went up above a certain point.
Well, so it's like that WrestleMania with Slaughter versus Hogan. We moved it because security. Bull crap. They moved it because they weren't selling tickets.
Yeah.
They had to go to a small arena.
Yeah. And like you said, like, and one of the things, like you brought up Arthur Ashe, Frank. From what I understand, because even when Punk was still there, the attendance for that show kept going. And like, he had a big attendance that first time, but then they went back, wasn't as big. Then went back this time, it was cut in half again. I don't think they're going back to Arthur Ashe. Unless something major happens, unless they think that they can somehow pull something together where it's not going to be like it was. I don't think there are certain venues. You don't need to be in a 20, 30,000 seat venue every time you have an event like that.
If you're going to go back there, it's got to be a pay-per-view.
Yes.
Grand Slam. You got to make that a pay-per-view and do it there.
And you better have a card. And that's the thing. And that's one of the things we've been critical about Tony Khan about a lot is when you have big shows like that and you depend on big attendance like that, you need to advertise well ahead of time. That was one of the big problems. Like Frank, you brought up the first Forbidden Door. Kazuchika Okada didn't even show up on TV until the week of. Okay, most of the New Japan guys didn't even show up on AEW television until the week before. That's not enough time. Because here's the thing: I'm a New Japan guy. You guys know that. I love New Japan. By the way, Best of Super Juniors is going.
Here's a plug.
Right now. It's awesome. Check it out.
Rob Schilling for New Japan.
Goddamn right. Educate yourselves. The reality is that half the audience doesn't know who these guys are. They don't know who they are. Half the audience in AEW audience has never even watched a New Japan match, so they don't know who these guys are. They don't know that they should be excited. These guys are amazing. They're awesome, but if you don't really know who they are, you're gonna be like, okay, so he's wrestling this guy. Mm-hmm. All right. So when you're doing a show like that, especially if it's cross promotion like that, you need to build these guys up. You need to make their presence known. Now, through the year, he brings the guy in every once in a while. I mean, Ishii's been over in the AEW a couple of times. Everybody knows who Suzuki is now. Freaking Murder Grandpa has been promoted better than anybody in freaking New Japan, man. Everybody knows who that guy is. Which, by the way, he's having matches over in MLW right now, which is awesome.
And having all these, having AEW just makes WWE better, because when you had nobody, with WWE, it was just like, okay, they put whatever you want out because that's all you had. How much better is FTR in AEW than they would have been if they stayed in WWE?
Dude, that's, again, going back to the whole IWC thing, man. I've had people say, yeah, I bet FTR is, let's say, really, really wishing they hadn't gone over to AEW. Like, are you out of your mind? That friggin' dude, going to AEW was the best thing they ever did, man. That literally solidified them as the greatest tag team in the world today, man. Mm-hmm. That series of them versus the friggin' Briscoes, God, Lord, man, that's people are gonna be talking about that for decades. So, and that, again, that just goes back to the tribalism, man. But yeah, Johnny, that's exactly it, man. You can't expect people to do homework for your friggin' show.
I remember going into Forbidden Door 2, and I was watching it, and I'm one of those people that go, listen, you got 4 months in between pay-per-views, 3 months in between pay-per-views. At least a month out, we got to know some of the card. Yeah. But going into Forbidden Door, I just remember, because I'm not a big New Japan guy. I watched a little bit of it. I don't know a lot about the wrestlers over there, but I tweeted out something. I remember getting bashed because people are like, "Oh, they don't need to tell you who this person is. You should just know who this is." Dude,
You're out of
no,
your
I
mind.
shouldn't. Like, it doesn't take 5 minutes. It doesn't take them they could do 30 seconds introducing a guy and telling a little backstory about a guy.
Doing those vignettes that they've been doing.
Yeah.
You know,
They've
Dude,
gotten a lot better at it.
Dude, if they had done that for like Okada and Suzuki and those guys in the first Forbidden Door, that's all you. There you go. Now you're showing people why these guys are a big deal. Why a match against this guy's a big deal. Show a freaking highlight clip of Will Ospreay when he was going into that match with Pockets.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing: that match on the card, that was the best damn match of the night. But nobody was going to know that because, as great as he is, most people didn't know who Will Ospreay was.
Yeah. I mean, you have indie shows that promote better than what AEW does sometimes.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest
sad.
criticisms. Yeah, that's one of the biggest criticisms for Tony Khan that we've had. He puts together great matches.
Mm-hmm.
He puts together fantastic matches. The promotion of it, however, man, and I'll tell you what, like I said, he has issues getting promoting matches, and he can't book big men. I don't know what it is with him, man.
How many times have they repackaged Lance Archer?
Dude,
you know,
see, that's why. Yeah, that's why right now, I know that there's different people that are in charge of creative over on Collision. I know that there's a couple extra. I know Bryan Danielson's been really heavily involved in that over there.
Scotty Too Hottie, is he on that or Dynamite? I
don't know. I was going to look into that. I don't know, but I do know that he's starting to get some traction over there. I know that Dax Dax's Harwood is really heavily influencing the booking over on Collision. That's been a great, man, because I'll tell you what, the way they've booked their big men over there has been way better than they've been booked anywhere else. Like,
do you think? And I tweeted about this the other day. I mean, does AEW need a true creative team?
Yes.
Where there's one person in charge. Then you got Tony Khan above them, but there's one person in charge. You got a creative team, not writers per se, because we don't want scripted bull crap like we get in other companies we're not going to say the name of. But, you know, is that what we're coming to? Or do you think Tony Khan is unselfish enough to do that?
Right now, I don't think he is. I know that they have creative teams, but I know that Tony, he's trying to be Vince McMahon. He's micromanaging everything. That's why I said I had that saying, man, if you're going to wear all the hats, you're going to get the gravy, but you're also going to get the grief. So when things go well, you get the praise. When things go bad, you get the blame. And right now he's wearing all the hats.
Justin, I keep saying Tony Khan is like Dark Helmet from Spaceballs with all his little toys.
Yeah, he's got his favorite toys. You know, he keeps buying them up. He's got them all. He's got every figure. He's got everything. He's got them all. He's got that 5 or 6 that he just keeps using over and over and over again. The Brock Anderson situation. You know what? We might have to do an entire show just on that. That makes me sad because I love Arn Anderson, dude. I love that guy to death. Johnny said AEW exists so Tony can play Booker. That's never going to happen. Right now, it's not. I think I shouldn't say that. Right now, I think he recognizes that having different creative opinions is a good thing because the success of Collision, Collision has gotten high praise, very high praise from everybody. Dude, Jim Cornette likes Collision. Right? That guy doesn't like anything. Okay. He
blocked me.
Dude. Don't get me wrong, he still grouses about a lot of stuff, but he talked about how Collision, especially like I said, the announce team is one of the best things he's talked about. And that wouldn't have happened without different voices going there saying, hey, let us try to work some magic over here. Now, ever since CM Punk left, he's been more heavily involved in Collision, and it's had mixed results. But you can still tell that the people over there that are booking the matches and whatnot, it's a different flavor from Dynamite, and it needs to really adhere to that. But at the end of the day, considering how successful they've been, it's going to be hard to convince Tony to give up the creative reins. And I know that was one of the sticking points with Cody. Cody, when AEW first started, Cody was the booker. He was the booker. Tony, obviously Tony being the owner, he still weighed in, but Cody was the booker. And then Cody made a couple bad moves, and then Tony just snatched the reins away, and he's held them ever since. The fact that they're getting a big pay upgrade from Warner Discovery, that's not going to lend itself, in my opinion, to him letting go of the reins anytime soon. But I do think that he's seen at least enough to where he's like, okay, let me bring in some of these other creative voices and let them try to make some stuff, and then I'll pull events and change things that I want. But I don't think Tony's ever going to give up the friggin' reins. What do you guys think?
No, I don't think so. Something drastic has to happen to his dad or something for him to step away.
Yeah.
Didn't he say if something were to happen that Bryan Danielson would take control of creative? Did I read something like that about a month ago? I
do know that he's very high on Bryan Danielson as a creative person. I know Danielson he's had a heavy hand over in Collision, and like I said, you could feel it. Dax has also basically. I know that Dax and Bryan are both heavily involved in Collision. I know. Well, here's the thing though. When Punk was over there, Punk was also heavily involved in the Collision, and Tony was basically pretty much hands off on Collision. Since Punk's gone now, he's not like that anymore, and you have felt it. You, like I said, most notably in the announce team. I do think that Tony's smart enough to realize that having a show that's got a different flavor from Dynamite is a good idea. Whether or not his ego can handle letting people have more creative control over there than they have in Dynamite, that's going to be what decides where the future goes. I don't think, but like I said, I don't think he's ever going to. He may give people more creative power. He's never going to give back the reins like it was with Cody. That's never going to happen again.
Where do you guys? I know Full Gear's in November in like a couple weeks, but Justin, what do you think any of these guys that are been cut are coming to AEW?
Wouldn't be surprised. Who's out there first? Refresh my memory.
Mustafa Ali,
Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler is 100% coming.
He's coming. His brother's here. He's coming. Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin.
I don't think Shelton Benjamin is.
I like Dolph Ziggler. That's just me personally. Yeah, I like him.
Well, they've got a tailor-made situation with him and his brother over there, man.
Yeah.
They'll go over there. They'll become a tag. Because here's the thing, too, man. Tag team wrestling is big in AEW. Yeah. It's the complete opposite of what it is in WWE.
I think he could help his brother a lot.
Yeah.
You got Matt Riddle, which I can't see him wanting to bring him in.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think of all the big people that were released, pull the Dolph Ziggler, I think, is a lock. Mustafa Ali is very possible. Mm-hmm. Who else? Aaliyah for the women's division, maybe. Rick Boogs, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think he goes to like Impact or something like that.
He seems like an Impact guy.
Do you think Tenille Dashwood and her man are going back to Impact?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're 100% going back to. Now you got who else?
None of those people though are a needle mover though.
That's what I'm saying. Like the biggest ones, Matt Riddle,
Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali. Those are the three big ones, I think. I can see Mustafa Ali going to AEW. I can also see Mustafa Ali going to either Impact or New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be big in New Japan, dude. Put that guy in the best of the Super Juniors. Holy shit, that's tournament gold right there, man. Riddle, I agree. Leg kick,
Too much trouble.
Riddle's too much trouble, man. I think here's the thing. He's a big name. He made a pretty big name for himself. He's got a pretty heavy following. But man, that dude just seems to trouble finds him, like sticks to him like shit on a blanket, man.
He has to get a rehab. Yeah, he obviously has an issue. You don't want a Jeff Hardy 2.0 there.
And he's just the dude just has impulse control issues. Frank,
I don't think any of those are needle movers for them though.
No.
Can they appear at Full Gear? Yeah, but
the one name that she's not she's going to be there sooner or later is Mercedes. Now that's a
Mercedes,
mover. Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah, dude. And to be honest, man, from what I understand, wherever she wants to go to AEW, and there's rumors that she's already signed with them. But I do know that one of her stipulations is she wants to be involved in creative. You know, and considering what she did over in WWE, she was part of the biggest women's revolution in wrestling ever. Let her do that, man.
Mm-hmm. She probably would have been at All Out if she wasn't hurt.
The plans were she was going to be at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that was it. Yes,
she was going to be at Forbidden Door, and then she got hurt. She did show up at All Out. She was in the crowd. She was watching, and that's when all the speculation started. So I think it's just a matter of time. Once she's healed, she'll be there. But Ziggler is a lock. I think he's 100% going there, and then maybe Mustafa Ali, and that's it. I don't think anybody else is either. They got too much baggage, or like you said, they just don't really do anything for him.
Somebody said Elias. I do like Elias now. He's entertaining.
He is, but he doesn't have enough. I really, like you said, I don't think he moves the needle.
No, he doesn't move the needle at all. No.
So I see him going to like Impact. Now I could see Tony signing some of these people for Ring of Honor, but even Ring of Honor is stacked with freaking talent right now too, man. He's got such a massive roster.
Don't forget, guys. NWA Power or NWA signed with CW.
They signed a big deal, man. So CW. They're going to be looking for talent.
So they are going to be looking for talent. I think. I mean, honestly, I think NWA can give Impact a run for their money here soon. Next
100%.
That's the number 3 promotion.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if they still had Nick Aldis, I think that would be even better. But WWE poached him and made him a friggin' manager, which is weird.
Johnny's right. If you get Elias, you get 2 for 1. You get him and his brother.
It's so dumb. Ryback is getting back into shape. Who cares?
Ryback.
Freaking Ryback. Dude, you talk about a complete waste. Dude, like I said, man, when I found out that NWA signed that deal with CW, I was like, whoa, that's a big move, man. That's a big move.
Billy Corgan came out and said they're trying to go back to territories too. Did you see?
I saw that, and I know that when Cody was booking things like that, Cody was a big part. People forget this. It wasn't Tony Khan that created AEW. It was Cody. Cody planted the seeds for AEW with the original All In show, and it was there that he met that they got together with Tony, and then between the two of them, they're the ones who created AEW. And one of the ideas that Cody had was working with other companies, a la the old territories, like the way they used to. They were working with, when Cody was there, they were working with NWA, they were working with Impact, they were working with he's the one who kind of brokered the relationship with AAA. They were trying to do things with New Japan, but the president of New Japan at the time was pissed because they poached all of its freaking top talent. So, but that was the idea that they had back then. And that's a good idea, man, because, like the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats. So, and that's why you see now New Japan they had that collaboration with AEW, and it paid dividends. And like, okay, we're going to start working with everybody else. So they're working. They had a thing with Ring of Honor for a long time. AEW. They're working with MLW right now. They're even talking to the WWE.
Yeah.
So does anybody watch CW though?
So what's interesting about that comment, and you're right, does anybody actually watch it? But they're a number 18 network when it comes to when it comes to TV. TBS is only number 16.
Yeah.
TNT's number 17. So their reach is right there with the TNT TBS stuff. So I mean, there's no telling. I mean, hey, if they draw 200,000 people to a show, watching it weekly, that's huge for them.
That's better than half of the friggin' the CW superhero shows that they were doing, man.
Yeah.
Dude, like friggin' Batwoman and that show shit the bed, man. That thing got 3 seasons. So
there's no telling, man. Who knows what's going to make CW happy? They may be able to draw 200,000 every week to a weekly show watching it, and CW may go, wow, we're really happy about that.
Yeah, dude, if they can pull like anything, like if they can pull friggin' Rampage numbers, 350,000, they'll probably be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably be happy with that because and also they have kind of a different criteria with live shows that they have with series and whatnot. So yeah, dude, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, man, like it's times like this when you see some really interesting stuff happening in wrestling.
2024 is going to be a crazy year with MJF, Will Ospreay, is Raw moving off of Monday nights.
Oh yeah, man.
NWA on CW.
Yep.
Like there's so much going on. Like it could be a big shakeup in 2024.
2024 is 100. Dude, AEW going to a 12 pay-per-view format, a pay-per-view every month. We know that, like I said, they got a big friggin' pay upgrade from depending on who you believe, it's anywhere from 380 million to $1 billion. CW was given away for free. CW, dude, a lot of those CW shows are garbage, man. They're so bad.
So if you're AEW, okay,
yep.
Just make a scenario here. You're AEW and you lose out on Will Ospreay to WWE. Do you roll the wheelbarrow at MJF? And say,
I think they already did.
Whatever it takes.
I think they already did.
MJF would be.
MJF I would do it anyway, but that's just me.
MJF would be number 1 for me.
Yeah,
over Will Ospreay.
Invested too much into him.
Yeah, I think MJF. They've established him to be the big heel going forward. Mm-hmm. Right now, he's a face. He's kind of a tweener. Right now, that's not going to last. His natural state. It's just like Flair. His natural state is a heel.
Yeah, and I think he'll holds on to the title, and they use 2024 to tease. Am I going to take the title with me?
Yep. Yeah, he ain't losing that belt.
Before he signs.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he loses that belt between now and next year.
Not taking anything away from.
Already signed.
Yes.
Yeah. Not taking anything away from Jay White. I mean, Jay White versus MJF.
Awesome.
Because that was a great signing by AEW bringing Jay White in.
Oh God, dude, that was massive.
Oh yeah, just go to WWE. Oh yeah. Nope.
Who's the devil?
I think it's Roddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Roddy. I think he's trying to set things up. I mean, the top. Okay, so here's the top. I checked out this site. Here's the top free agent wrestling signings in 2024. Number 1 is Drew McIntyre. I think he's already resigned. I think they're just ironing things out. I think he's resigning with E. He's staying with the E. So I don't think this coming. Defy New Wrestling puts on some really good swerve on. Can't remember his name. Came from there. Yeah. Oh, dude, Defy. Dude, there's a lot of indie shows a lot of these guys on AEW and New Japan and MLW, they go to these indie shows, man. They put on a great show. I really want to go to an Impact show when they come around here. Like, we haven't gone to many of those other ones, but I do want to do that. Osprey's number 2. Like, Osprey's the big one, man. And I know here's the thing. Triple H loves that dude, man. He said it. He's multiple times he's talked about how the 2 people he wants to get, he wanted to poach from New Japan were Will Ospreay and Jay White. So when Jay White signed with AEW, he was pissed. He loved he wanted Jay White so bad. He said he thought Jay White was the best heel wrestler in the business. So when he signed with AEW, that Triple H got a little bit of a hair up his ass. So Ospreay is another one, man. He's constantly sung his praise. MJF, like I said, from reports coming in, he signed a new 5-year deal. About back last year, when that whole thing was going on. So I think he's a lock for AEW. Bryan Danielson is done in 2024. Me and Frank talked about this. I originally thought that he was going to go back to the E. Frank said no. I agree with him now. I think the creative control that Tony's given him, I think it's just too enticing. I think and plus, you can tell, man, the guy is having a freaking blast. He is having the time of his freaking life. And he's out there able to create whatever he wants. He can create whatever he wants. He can go out and wrestle these dream matches. And there ain't no fear for money, man, because he's getting paid very, very well. So the other ones, I'll ask you guys what you think. Deonna Purrazzo. She's a free agent. She's one of the best women's wrestlers in the business, man.
Problem is do you trust AEW's booking of the women's division? that's been the thing. Everybody complains about the storylines.
Yeah. And to be fair, the storylines over on Collision have been better. They're not great, still not great, but they've been better. But I think she's one of the best talents out there. What do you guys think?
I don't trust WWE's women's because
not right now.
Yeah.
No, unless you're Flair, Lynch, or
Ripley
or Bianca, and now Jade. I mean, those are the top 5 they got right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing anything with Io Shirai, really. No.
And I was afraid they weren't going to either. That's my girl, man.
Asuka, when her contract's done, she just needs to get out.
I think she's done. She's 44, I think. And she's got a bunch of businesses, man. She don't need no money. She's fine. But I don't get me wrong. I think Deonna Purrazzo will do amazing wherever she goes. Mm-hmm. Depending on what happens with AEW's women's division, if Mercedes, and I think Mercedes Moné is a lock. I think she's going there because I think she's going to go there and they're going to give her some creative control and let her do stuff. If she goes over there and she turns the women's division around, man, Deonna Purrazzo would be an amazing fit. But I also think that she's going to look at that like she's like, I could go sign with WWE and get a huge fat paycheck.
Yeah.
So Becky Lynch, she's a free agent in 2024. I don't think she's going anywhere. I think her contract's up in June of 2024. Man, they're not gonna let her go. No. Any offer that AEW makes for her, they'll make a better one.
Right.
But you know what? We say that, but it's a new dynamic with Endeavor.
Yeah.
And they have been accused of lowballing people in the past.
Yeah. So, especially in the women's division.
Yeah. So we just don't know. I actually read a report today. It said there's several people with their contracts are getting ready to expire, and WWE hasn't reached out to them yet.
Yeah.
So they don't know what to expect when it comes to those contracts. They don't know if they're going to get lowballed. Is it going to be a decent contract? So we have no clue what to expect with this whole new shakeup with WWE.
Yeah. Now here's a big name. His contract is up in 2024. Alexander Hammerstone. That dude's tailor made for WWE, man. He's like friggin' the second coming of Hogan. He's a big, huge blonde dude. Yeah, how is he? Is he cool?
Oh yeah. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him at an indie show before. I helped out with, and got to hang out with him and talk to him. He's the real deal.
Yeah, dude. He's like, MLW, but him and Jacob Fatu are the two guys they kind of built that freaking company around. And yeah, he's like I said, like he's another guy. I'd love to see him go to AEW, but at the same time, he's a big dude. Tony has a hat. Tony just doesn't. He's not very good at booking big men. Make sure he goes to Collision if he does, because they do book him better over there. But like, I could see that guy going to WWE. That guy showing up in NXT would freaking set that place on fire, man. Him versus Braun Breaker, just make those two guys like the two faces of that company, just going at each other, and that would be impressive.
That it look.
Oh man. Oh yeah, dude. Like I said, he's like the second coming of Hogan. He's got that bleach blonde friggin' bodybuilder, physique and everything. Matt Cardona,
King of the Indies.
Yep, King of the Indies, man. I don't think he's going back to WWE. I think he knows if he goes back there, it's just gonna be more of the same shit for him.
He's making good money.
Yeah, dude, and everybody talking about him. Everybody talks about him. How, like you said, King of the Indies, man.
Yep.
And then the big one for the women, outside of the ones we just talked about, Mandy Rose. She's talking about she wants to come back.
Sex sells.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. If they bring her back, you better lean on that sex sells element, man. So Tony's booking of Giants clearly has left out by dude, man, Luke, Lance Archer. Flop. Brian Cage, flop. Wardlow, flop. Hobbs' first run, flop. Dude, wasn't until Joe got there, and even Joe was kind of languishing for a while until Collision showed up, until the Ring of Honor and everything. Dude, he doesn't book big men well. It's like he doesn't know how.
Yeah. What's crazy is someone like Brian Cage. Like, you look at Brian Cage, you look at his stature, you look how big he is.
Yep.
That guy can flat out move in a ring.
Oh God,
like,
dude.
He's just not your typical big man. He can do crazy stuff. And it's like, wow. I used to tell people, strap the rocket to this guy and let it take off. He has that look to him. And they just drop the ball.
I'm convinced that if he had signed with WWE instead of AEW, he'd be one of their top guys right now. Mm-hmm. That's how good Brian Cage is.
You forgot Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, God, dude, man, talk about dropping the ball. Oh my God, man. And here's the thing: Keith Lee's getting up there in years, so he ain't gonna be around much longer. You better put that rocket on him now.
The Bearcat.
Oh my God.
So we say, you know what? And this is us being fans. We say they dropped the ball, and you may ask Keith Lee this, and he may be like, "Man, I'm just enjoying my time now.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the freedom that I have out here."
Yeah.
To do what I want to do. As fans, we're going, dude, they're screwing you over. And in their minds, they may be going, no, not really, man. I get a paycheck. I'm here with my family every week. I only got to leave, go out of town 2 days a week now.
Yeah. Dude, like I've said that about Nakamura. I said, dude, Shinsuke Nakamura should have been one of the biggest things that WWE ever did. Mm-hmm. He should have been the world champion the first year he was there. That's how friggin' hot that guy is. That's how good he is. But you go and you talk to him and they're like, man, they're misusing. He's like, no, they're not. He's like, I get paid extremely well and I get to go surfing every other day. I don't care. He's like, he'll do whatever he wants. So it's like, I do think that they could do way. I like what they're doing with Nakamura now, way more than I liked what they were doing with him before. But I'm like, where was this shit, 3 years ago? But he's another guy. He's like, I'm good. I like it. I'll keep signing with him as long as they want me to be here. So, but we are well past time, guys. Going to go ahead and shut it down here. Appreciate everybody who was here. I think it was a good discussion, man. Like I said, this whole situation with attendance and whatnot, and like what direction AEW goes with all these big, and like you said, man, all the stuff that's happening in 2024, Frank. Dude, man, 2024 is going to be a friggin' wild ass year, man. A lot of stuff's going on.
We need this guy, the Jaybird, on more
Yeah.
often.
Yes. Where's it at here? Justin, please do me a favor. After the show's done, drop your link for all your stuff in here. I'll go ahead and throw it up. And yeah, man, don't be a stranger, brother. We love having you around. We love talking to you.
I appreciate y'all having me on. Let me kick the bricks with y'all for a little while.
Hey,
Dude, man.
the pleasure is ours, man. We love having you.
Yeah.
Anytime. I mean, we'll keep dropping the links and inviting you. So whenever you want to pop in.
Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Thank you for letting me talk a little bit. Sometimes I talk too much. So thank you.
Yeah. Have you watched our show?
If
there's a tangent, we'll find it. But
hopefully the family's doing good, Jaybird.
Yes, family's doing well, man. Doing well.
All right. Everybody that stopped in here today, Johnny Cage, Leg Kick, Maldacito, Big Daddy. Oh, always Big Daddy, man. Appreciate him. Frank, Cameron Howell, appreciate you being here, brother. And everybody that was lurking.
Johnny JP.
Yep. Johnny was having some internet issues and everything today, so he wasn't able to join us, but I'm sure he'll have something to say next week. But thanks for your guys. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.